Almost 1 year since the XL Bully was put on the list of banned dogs in the UK, and attention has now turned to another breed.
Cane Corsos have increasingly been seen as a status dog after the XL Bully ban. Famous owners of the dog, which can grow to weigh 8 stone, include Vin Diesel and Marcus Rashford. But does its size pose the same risks as the XL Bully?
John Allison is the owner of a Cane Corso Vito here, who's alongside us, and Dr. Scott is sitting on the sofa too. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
John, lovely to meet you. And your beautiful dog.
He is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
The most docile, extraordinarily charming dog.
Dribbling, gentle, giant.
Most dangerous trait.
Oh,
Tell us, though, John, a little bit about the Cane Corso. When did you first start having this breed of dogs, and what's he like, generally?
Vito is he's 7 years old. He was my first Cane Corso. He came to me from Bulgaria at 5 months old. As you can see, he's a very loving, affectionate companion dog. He is big and powerful. You know, we're fully aware of that. But as you've seen today, he's very calm, very relaxed, very social, which is, you know, ultimately the most important thing when you bring any large dog into your family. But as you can see, he's a fantastic companion and absolutely adores affection of everyone around him.
Yeah, really is a gentle giant. Dr. Scott, tell us a little bit about this breed.
Yeah, so Cane Corso, or Cane Corso, if you want to be posh, they are a very powerful dog that you can see. They're an Italian Mastiff.
Yeah.
Their lineage isn't fully clear, which is why they can't be registered with the Kennel Club. But they have descended from war dogs of Rome because they're very protectionist, they're a guard dog, and so they behave still in those same ways. And as you've already said, heavy dog, about 50 kilograms.
Yeah.
So that does mean that it is not a dog for the faint-hearted. It needs to be with someone like John here, very experienced, who is able to sort of control a dog with this much might.
Yeah.
You know?
So we were saying that it's about a year since the XL Bully has become a banned breed. Why is the focus now turned? Because when you see Vito here, you know, he's a big dog, but he seems incredibly docile and lovely and sociable. Why is suddenly the focus onto this breed?
Well, I do think it's mostly media-driven because certainly we were chatting before and neither of us are seeing, certainly in my veterinary practice, I'm not seeing a rise in them. They aren't on the dangerous dogs list, so therefore they're not a banned breed. So that means that they can be sold, they can be bred, and they can be owned normally. Compared to the XL Bully now, who they can no longer be bred in the UK, they can't be rehomed, can they? They must be microchipped, must be neutered, and must be muzzled at all times in public spaces. So if people are looking for a menacing-looking dog, sure. Yeah, this guy, you know, in a dark alley, he would be looking quite menacing.
Yeah.
But, in fact, it isn't the dog that is the root cause of this problem. And certainly by meeting Vito, you can see very clearly that is not the case.
Absolutely. I think people kind of choose to use them as a status symbol almost a little bit and as a sign of power, I think, if in the wrong hands. But there have been attacks, and very serious attacks too.
Yes, so quite recently, I think the media has turned their focus to this breed, and as a result, all of a sudden, these reports have come to light. So in October, there was a dog that had attacked and killed a gentleman's brother to the point where he's now serving 4.5 years in jail.
Really?
And there's been a number of attacks that have occurred throughout the course of 2024, which have come to light.
Yeah.
But that said, I would always say that every single breed of dog, no matter what kind of dog, has the tendency or has the ability to be dangerous. Obviously, the bigger the dog and the more powerful the dog, the more chance that might turn into a life-threatening injury. But it's certainly not at the paws of any one particular breed as to why these issues are occurring. Instead, it ends up all being down to responsible dog ownership and education.
Your dog, John Vito, had his ears clipped before you got...
Oh, yes, yes. He came to me at 5 months, 5 months old. So
and the tail doc.
These puppies arrived in the UK already with an ear crop and a tail dock, which is actually common practice in a lot of these countries. In Eastern Europe, you know, you see a lot of the dogs that do come from there. They do have these procedures taking place, and albeit that we don't agree with it here in the UK, and it is, you know, very much illegal. within these nations, you know, we can't impact them.
No,
Just
you would
wanted
never
to explain
turn
that to our
them
viewers because they will be wondering.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about this with your family. I mean, you're clearly a very responsible dog breeder, a dog owner. You have a number of these and have had. But you've got a young family as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so I have 3 children who are, my oldest is 15 years old, so he's been around the dogs since they arrived. My younger 2 children, obviously, not so much. However, 3 and 1.
Okay, little ones.
Yeah. However, it's very, very important to note that regardless of the size of the dog, I would never leave my children unattended with the dog, regardless of a Cane Corso or a Shih Tzu. You know, it doesn't matter to me.
Whatever the breed.
Whatever the breed, no child should ever be left unattended. And I think what's really important to point out to that is, yes, everyone focuses on the dog, but young children's behaviour is erratic.
Yes.
We would then put the blame on the dog, albeit, yes, it's non-negotiable. Children, or anyone for that matter, should never come to harm. However, children can cause pain very easily to dogs. They pull ears, they pull tails, you know, they pinch skin, they stand on paws. Yeah. We automatically blame the dog. We need to, as parents and as adults, take responsibility for that and advocate for our dogs, ensuring that the dog and the child is never in that situation.
So
that come to harm.
You've got a 15-year-old, and admittedly, like, you can have the best intentions when you are a dog owner, but there are occasions when suddenly you might need to nip out, and then the dog's on its own with the children.
So even at the age of 15, my son is never left alone.
Right.
You know,
and you wouldn't be able to walk him either.
No, and I walk the dogs.
Because I think, it's a Vito 7 stone?
Yeah, 49 kilograms, Yeah, don't get me wrong, when we are out together, I will absolutely let my eldest son hold the leash. I am there and, you know, and supervising that, but my children are never left home alone. And I know there will be people out there who say, well, I'll leave my 15-year-old home. That's okay. I simply don't.
You wouldn't. No. What do you think about the comparison now between your breed and the XL Bully? How is the Cane Corso different?
Well, the clear difference is that the Cane Corso or Cane Corso was bred for a working purpose. The XL Bully was bred for aesthetics. Looked very, you know, it looked fantastic. It was a very beautiful looking dog.
Striking.
But it had, striking, yeah, a great example. But it had no working purpose. The Cane Corso does, and as you see with many of the high profile personnel throughout the country, the dogs serve as a guardian for their homes. When they are on national or, you know, international television, they have a dog there to protect their families. And those dogs that those guys and girls have, they're in training for up to 2 years.
Yes.
And it costs a significant sum of money. These aren't dogs who are just, let's buy a big dog and put it in this home. These dogs are carefully selected by responsible training companies with a lot of interactions with the families who are taking them in. Up to 2 years in training before those, you know, people get them in the home without the trainer. So there's a lot goes on behind. The big difference that we have seen over the last, you know, kind of 12 months is that, or the key thing we've seen, is that the laws brought in simply don't work. Right. That's the key. We've got it wrong again. Well, the nation have got it wrong. For me, the solution lies an initiative of education, licence and consequence. Now, we have 10.8 million households in the UK that own dogs, whether that be one dog or multiple, there's 10.8 million households. If we charge a licence fee per year, because let's remember, it's a privilege to own a dog, not a right.
Yes.
If we charge a licence fee of £40 per year, we could generate close to £500 million per year that could be reinvested into education in our schools.
Yeah.
Could be reinvested into safe areas and public spaces for dogs.
Unquestionably, sorry, John, I'm only pushing because we're a bit out of time. Unquestionably, Scott, a fee, £40 for responsible dog owners who want to have these breeds and look after them, they would all probably embrace that and think, I'd be very happy to put that money out there to licence my dog and also put it into the support. It's not necessarily as easy as that to put into practice. What's your take on this as a breed?
Well, first of all, let's just say, so we've reached out to the government and they have said there are no plans to put them onto the dangerous dogs list. And just as John said, it's all about education and enforcement. Yeah. The RSPCA is kind of going, we told you so, and saying inevitably we will be looking to another breed to blame for dog attacks. And finally, from my perspective, I think it's using a dog as a weapon is the same as blaming a knife. So if we say we're going to ban knives, well, all the people that are responsibly using them in their kitchens can't use them. Instead, we need to focus on irresponsible breeders and irresponsible dog owners.
Yeah, I think well said. And John, you spoke so eloquently about it. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Something I'm extremely passionate about, you know. And
he is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thanks, Dr. Scott.
Thanks, guys. And well done, Vito,
for
being so
excellent
well behaved. I think better than some of the gladiators might be later.
I thought you were going to say me.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.